doing journalism that he does not like.
But we look at it and
But didn't Obama spy on a journalist?
But Ryan, hold on, Ryan, it's in all caps and
Didn't
it seems
Obama
funny,
spy on a
it seems
journalist?
wild, so people sometimes dismiss it, even though it's very serious.
But Brian, didn't Obama spy
No
on a
administration is perfect. But
what? No, I don't think that. I do not believe that Donald Trump did what Barack Obama did to
the Trump administration put Reality Winner behind bars for leaking to The Intercept. Every administration is guilty of some of this.
Okay.
But the Trump
that's not the same thing. But
Donald Trump has threatened every major media company in the United States,
who did he
including
spy on?
Fox.
Wait, but Ryan, okay. All right, let's call it what you say. I think Brian's point is Trump is saying he wants to take an entire news organization off the air because he doesn't like an interview that they conducted.
He doesn't like the editing.
Can't you just, like, in the real world, acknowledge that's bad?
I would say that Donald Trump should get a diary instead of Truth Social. That's my opinion. That is sometimes.
There we are now.
Sometimes you do need a diary.
I just have to point out, you didn't answer my question.
No, because I don't think it's a serious thing. It's what we talked about last time: literal versus figurative. I don't think anyone really thinks he's going to take CBS off the air.
I mean, but what about the racist?
That doesn't mean he's not going to try.
How is he going to try? How is he going to? Is he going to have?
By appointing an FCC chair who will do it. But what about the racist attack? That's where we started. What about the racism? What about the racism today about Springfield, Ohio, saying they're eating other unspecified animals?
Is it racist that, like, Janet Jackson said she wasn't really black?
Yeah, but don't flip it around.
I just want to know. Is it racist? Because she did say that.
She did say that.
She did say that.
Is this with Janet Jackson? Like, he's asking you a
question.
question.
No, I'm asking a real question.
No, you're not.
Yes,
You're answering his question with a question. What he's saying is it not crazy that he can just say racist things, make up things about cats and dogs, say whatever he wants on the air, and it doesn't matter? And you flip it around. What about Janet Jackson?
Is it racist that she asked the same question?
But that's not the question.
Why is it not the question?
So to the point about...
Because Donald Trump is running for president,
right?
Janet Jackson's not running for president. All these other people you're mentioning. Donald Trump is the one running for president. Right. And we need to take this man and the things he says seriously. And the things he's saying are, I'm going to take people off the air that I don't agree with. I'm going to go after my political enemies. I'm going to do these terrible things. And we have to take these terrible things. You're doing it again.
No.
Don't do it again.
Did Hillary Clinton go to jail? Did Hillary Clinton go to jail? Because he promised he was going to send her to jail, and then he never did.
This is what
Hold on.
This is what Trump does to all of us, though. This is what he's done to the country.
I mean, if anything, the show is a little bit of a microcosm of the country. But I just have to say, Ryan, you know that there is a lot of reporting of Trump both attempting and succeeding to direct his government to go after his political enemies. You know that is true, right?
Which political enemies did he get arrested?
He tried. He literally.
Which one? I really don't know. Which one did he get arrested?
No. Getting Adam Schiff arrested once he gets back into office.
I'm not. I
Shifty Schiff.
He's
going to get him arrested.
But you also don't.
I
don't
get
put
that,
words,
but he said that Hillary Clinton would go to jail, and she didn't.
Ryan,
so
don't put words in my mouth. I didn't say that he got her arrested.
I asked a question.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I said that he attempted to use the government against his political enemies. That is true. And so the idea that he says things and then doesn't try to do them is not borne out by facts. Okay. He says things and then often tries to do them.
Two things. One, the blovicating, I think that people sit there and say, all right, normal people are like, I don't care. Trump's annoying, but I like his policies, and that's fine. The second thing is that a lot of presidents went for their political enemies using the government. Trump did not get anyone. I mean, that's the truth. Obama used the IRS against his political enemies. That did happen. But he did. Yes, he did.
I'm trying to figure out why you're so comfortable in the guardrails around somebody that tried to overturn an election result. Like, how do you feel so confident in what this man will do?
Because he was president already,
guys,
and he didn't have
I want to get some other things in, but again, Ryan, please. Barack Obama you have no evidence that Barack Obama directly asked the IRS to go after any political enemies.
They just happened to.
You have no evidence that Barack Obama was involved in that. You have to acknowledge that because you don't.
I don't. They did, though. I don't.
You said
I don't
Barack
have evidence,
Obama
but they
used
did.
the IRS to go after his political enemies. That is false.
Did.
That's false. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on because I want